Texas Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw apparently loves cancel culture. So now he's supposedly, what are you talking about? He's supposed to be one of those anti-cancel culture warriors, but you're going to see in this next video, this is from Fox and Friends on Monday. Dan Crenshaw is all about canceling Gwen Berry, who is a track athlete on the United States Olympic team. So he's going to make the argument that because she's on the Olympic team and quote unquote represents the United States, that if she doesn't bow to the anthem or anything like that, or that she should be canceled and removed. Take a look.
She turned her back on the flag during the anthem, and she also put a black T-shirt over her face that said, activist athlete.
We don't need any more activist athletes. She should be removed from the team. The entire point of the Olympic team is to represent the United States of America. That's the entire point. Okay, so, it's one thing when these NBA players do it. Okay, fine, we'll just stop watching. But now the Olympic team, and it's multiple cases of this, they should be removed.
They should be removed. Cancel culture. I love this. Okay, so, oh man, we don't need activist athletes. Okay, what about Tom Brady? He's an activist athlete. Anytime that a right-wing athlete comes around and says right-wing positions, or an actor or anything, right-wing media is beside themselves. They can't help but worship at the feet of quote-unquote Hollywood, but Hollywood conservatives. And it just shows that they're, the only thing that they're impressed with is celebrity status and money. And that's really what it is. And they're mad and they're salty. They're always so salty at Hollywood because Hollywood doesn't always back them. And so it's one of those things where they're sort of jealous in a way. But anyway, all right. There's more. Here's what he said. This is the pathology that occurs when we're teaching critical race theory in our institutions, because critical race theory, again, basically teaches that our institutions are racist, that our systems are deeply racist. Full stop. True. Our institutions are racist. Yes, they are. They were set up at a time where black people were excluded. Let me give you an example. The GI Bill, right? So the GI Bill, everybody knows the GI Bill as after the war, after World War II, our troops were able to come home and the government said, well, why don't we give you an education? Why don't we pay for your education? And it was a massive boon to people coming home and retraining and reintegrating into society. Wonderful program. Now, that's what we're taught. But what critical race theory shows is that, there was a group of soldiers that was left out of the GI Bill. Black soldiers. They were not given GI Bill benefits. They were not allowed to go back to school and get paid for it, even though they served in the military alongside of their white counterparts. That's what critical race theory teaches people. The truth about race in this country. Now, you would only be uncomfortable with learning about the truth if it makes you look bad, if it makes your side look bad. And so these people, they're so wrapped up in nationalism and flag waving, and a lot of it's armchair flag waving, by the way. They're so caught up with this that anything that maybe points out that, hey, look, we haven't been cool in the past. We're still not good today, because a lot of those institutions still exist today, and a lot of those inequities still exist. We're not the number one country in the world. They can't handle it. They can't hear it. And of course, there are some people that know that these inequities still exist, and they support the inequities. So I'm just saying, that's critical race theory. But again, he's basically talking out of his ass, Mr. Crenshaw. Here's what he said, quote, "You can't see the racism because it's subtle. And if you deny it, it's because you're teaching people this constantly. And this is what it results in these displays of hatred towards our own country, and it's got to stop." So wait, turning your back on the flag during the national anthem. And by the way, I believe Gwen Berry said something along the lines of, well, look, this country has not fulfilled its promises. And so that's why I feel uncomfortable venerating and celebrating that. And I agree. I don't think we've lived up to the promise of America at all. I think we have a lot to do. But I think this country also has great potential to do amazing, wonderful things. But in order to do those things, we actually have to, for one, chart a good path to the future, a progressive, sustainable path that ensures true equality for everyone. And also, part of that is looking to the past and dismantling those institutions that are inherently racist, that do keep people from being able to achieve that equality. Again, there are people that benefit from those racist institutions, that continue to benefit from these institutions. And look, a lot of us, to some extent, as white people, have benefited from some of these institutions. That doesn't mean that we're necessarily complicit. That doesn't mean that we should feel guilty about this. What it means is that once we understand that, oh, right, we have benefited from this, but other people have been hurt by this, well, maybe we should work to change it. And that's what, again, critical race theory is kind of all about, to teach people those inequities and those systems so that people will make the conscious choice to be able to dismantle those systems of classical oppression. But again, the people who actually benefit from these systems and were able to attain levels of wealth and power through that system don't want that to happen. So understand that this is where these people are coming from. Okay? So now, I have some responses on Twitter for, just to kind of round out this segment here. One person, Jake Logan, says, Dan Crenshaw and Brian Kilmeade are more upset at Gwen Berry for turning away from the flag than when terrorists use it as a weapon to beat Capitol police officers. Ooh, damn. Brian Schott says, Dan Crenshaw, who wants to cancel Gwen Berry over a political protest, once wrote a book about why cancel culture is bad. Ah, yes. I should think that I have made the case sufficiently in this show in the last few months that Republicans never cared about cancel culture. In fact, Republicans are the OG cancel culture warriors. All the way back in the past, you look at things that have been quote unquote canceled, usually it's conservatives. They tried to cancel rock music. They tried to cancel video games, or violent video games, violent movies. They tried to cancel Harry Potter. On and on and on. They are the kings of cancel culture. The only problem is now they've been able to successfully weaponize it for their own gains and have once again tried to project it on the left, as they do with many of the horrific positions that they believe in. Ah, yes, they also tried to cancel Dungeons and Dragons. True. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.